Hello, this is Software Development, Team 2009903. Our project this year is called UCalculate.
For this year's problem, we decided to tackle the problem of mathematics illiteracy in the United States. Throughout the United States, this country continually faces the issue of lower test scores as compared to many other countries. The children in the United States have consistently scored lower than other nations such as Singapore, Korea, India, and many other Eastern nations. Hence, mathematics has become the main focus for teachers and students alike, with policy initiatives intended to boost the test scores and better prepare children for college and career paths, in which mathematics would play an integral part.
Essentially, our project UCalculate is a practice software that allows high school students to practice their math skills from basic algebra to complex calculus. This gives help to students by giving them suggestions on what to study specifically by using our diagnostic test. After taking the diagnostics, students are able to open any of these practice portals and test and practice their math skills.
Now, UCalculate involves several components that are primarily coded in Visual Basic, which is a software in Visual Studio 2019. A randomizer will most likely be used including multiple math problems and answer choices. Randomly generated, these problems will make it possible for the software to give the math performance statistics and customized suggestions for the user's improvement. Therefore, holistically, by the use of Visual Basic and functionally based coding, it became possible to create such a software like UCalculate that improves math skills and makes students more eager to practice and work on their skills.
Using Visual Basic, we can make a GUI that is intuitive and easy to use. The GUI will be rather simple, with only a start button, which will take you into the math problems. The backend scripting will then handle the other elements of the software, such as the answering speed, problem selected, and the question difficulty.
For our coding team, we had many unique factors that were in place. For example, due to COVID, the separated state made it difficult to collaborate with each other. So when we decided to code the software, we had to combine separate files of code and also make sure the formatting was similar in order to increase our readability. Also, our ideal language was Visual Basic, but due to not all the teams knowing it, we had to improvise, and some of us had to even learn it, while others developed the UI, designed it, and did extensive research on why and how to create the software. Lastly, we created a database of questions to amount for the variety of problems that were included in our software.
Now we're going to go through our development process. The biggest requirement for this event is the concept of the software itself. We need to craft a software that is both appealing and accessible. Therefore, we need to create a code that reflected the idea, which is why we used Visual Basic. Visual Basic was the best option for coding primarily because of its design. It was created with the types of projects in mind, and so it made the project easier to code because the drag and drop feature. Furthermore, Visual Basic is powerful enough to run this type of project with ease, thereby decreasing run times. The formatting of this code was important, primarily so that our team could have an easier time coordinating it. We created multiple screens and divided up the work so that we could work on individual parts, put them together, and compile it.
Now, going back to the special circumstances that we mentioned before, being separated as well as not having the same amount of knowledge base between all of our teammates required us to be a little bit creative with how we divided up our tasks. Now, we essentially had to create two subgroups, and before splitting into them, we had to, of course, come up with a software idea. After many iterations, we decided to go with a math software to combat, of course, math issues and to understand the goal of the problem. Now, after splitting into two subgroups, we had a coding team, which is main job was to create the majority of the software. Naturally, they were responsible for testing, debugging, writing, and compiling all the code, as well as making sure it had a good enough quality to submit. Now, our second team had to do with demonstrating this code. We had to create the slides that discuss the processes in which we developed, created, tested, debugged, and of course, compiled the code. We also created a scripted outline for a video that discusses these things as well as others, including the possible impact of the software.
Implementation of this software will be rather simple. Since our program is made using Microsoft Visual Basic, Windows 10 based laptops PC can run our software natively. This makes it easy since the majority of laptops run on Windows 10. With devices becoming more easily accessible due to COVID-19 pandemic, many people would have the ability to use our software. The software does not require Wi-Fi, allowing people to schedule at any time.
Now, in an international study conducted with over 79 countries, 59 of them were below standard in mathematical literacy. The Economic Cooperation and Development Corporation's average is around 487, which was actually below the 25th country ranked out of the 79 in mathematical literacy. By using this and creating this software and possibly expanding its depth and breadth in the future, it could possibly lower these ranked nations' mathematical illiteracies, making them more effective in educating their youth. Furthermore, those within developed cities but under financial stress could also benefit from these software since it is free, but tutors students from algebra to calculus.
Here are our sources. Now we're going to move on to the program itself.
Okay, so this is our software, and as you can see, it begins with a diagnostic test. And here are some basic algebra questions. So if we just enter in some answers, then go to the next question, just to show the functionality of the software. So it randomly generates these questions, and then when it reaches the end, it will say that one has completed the diagnostic and gives them the score. So the score is 4 out of 8. So, or sorry, 4. Yes, the score is 4. And while that is not ideal, that kind of gives the student some guidance as to where to continue. And now, here are the 3 different levels of our program. There are algebra, geometry, and calculus. So, of course, algebra is the easiest end, geometry is the middle, and calculus is the upper level mathematics. So wherever the student would like to click, let's just say we want to go with algebra this time. And it would load up this form. So here are some questions that we found and created a test bank from. So for example, which value of x is the value of pi x greater than the value of x squared? So the student would figure this out and find that the answer would be C, x equals 1.5. And then there's other questions like this. So it creates a quiz of 5 questions to which, I'm sorry, I misspoke, not 5 questions. It will create a quiz of many questions after which, of 8 questions, similar to the diagnostic test, after which it will give a score 2 out of 8. So obviously the student needs to practice some more algebra, and then if they want to, they would be able to click on that again and redo it. And now let's just say we want to do calculus. Let's just say the student is getting hundreds on everything. Okay, so these are some more advanced topics, obviously, but the functionality is essentially the same. The student would answer questions to try to develop their skills. And
Essentially, our project wanted to help the people study math, as our previous subject was software competed in helping students with English. As a progression, we're trying to make sure that the education of the school is not lacking in a sense of one-on-one help for the students itself. We would love to thank you for your time and effort for listening through our software, and we would love to answer any questions if you have any.
thank you again for viewing our software, and we hope that we can make a difference in the lives of children who want to earnestly pursue mathematics or just simply develop their skills. That's why we call this as math, the essentials of life, because really that's what it is.
Can you cut the